One of the more interesting questions, I think, for the mailbag you did, the first part of it, was about Marco Rossi. And obviously he started the season really well. And it begs the question of, I know it's early, but like, does him playing well, continue to play well this season, give the Wild any more motivation to try to have contract talks with his agent, Ian Pulver, which he hasn't, at least up to this date, done so? Do you think?
Oh, did I lose you guys or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would for me. But, I don't know how much has changed here, because like if it were me and I drafted and developed a player like this, I wouldn't want to give him up at this age. The Wild, I've covered this league for 20 years. They don't draft centers and develop them into quality players besides Koivu and Eriksson. It just has never happened. And now you got this guy that looks to be like a really quality player. And his price is only going up the longer you wait. But I don't know how much has changed because, again, one big reason why I think that they haven't committed to him is because they know Yurov's coming. And I think there is sort of an edict next summer to go out and get some free agents. And if you're going out and pursuing, let's just say it's Brock Besser, that's fine. He's a right wing. I get that doesn't affect Rossi. But let's just say they go after a center like a Brock Nelson or somebody like that. He's got to play somewhere. And there's also only so much power play time around too. So again, if they are just assuming that Yurov is going to be a future number 1 or 2 center here, and that Eriksson is going to be a number 1 or 2 center here, if they don't look at Rossi as being a third line guy here, and I don't think that's fair to Rossi, I just don't know if it changes that much. And the longer they wait, the more expensive it gets. So I still have my doubts on whether or not they have interest in re-signing him, but it's up to him now to continue to put them in a position. Like the one thing I would say is that Yurov is still a figment of our imagination. They haven't got him signed yet. We don't know how it's going to translate to the NHL. They obviously watch him a lot more than me. But he's also a guy that you could play at the wing too. And I just think when you have a guy like this, especially like if I were the Wild, I'd go right now and at least try to get a bridge deal done, like a Cole Perfetti bridge deal. And then what it does is it buys you a couple more years at a quality price. So then at least you get Yurov here and you see what you have in them. And then if you have a real stud, then you have now a quality Rossi that you could trade at a really reasonable price. So I just think that if you can get them done on some sort of reasonable contract, even if it's a 4 or 5 year deal in the $4 or $5 million range, that is a tradable contract if he continues to ascend. And so I just don't know right now, why it makes sense to move them. And so I'm not saying that they are. I haven't talked to Bill Guerin about this, but I just still think that the biggest reason why we know they haven't committed to him is because of all these other factors of going out and spending money on free agents and Yurov. And still, like if it were me, I'd rather have a 23-year-old Rossi rather than going out and spending $6 or $7 million on a 30-year-old or a 31-year-old center. That's just me. I think the world of Rossi. I think he's done everything this organization has asked of him, and I think that should deserve some payback from them. And I just think that he's gotten better from a strength standpoint. He's gotten better from a skating standpoint, and he's got, despite his size, courage like very few undersized players have in this league. I mean, if you look at NHL Edge during last year's 21 goal season and so far this year, where does he get his shots from? Where does he get his goals from? They're always from high danger net front areas. He's an extremely smart player, and I just think that I think it behooves them to make that call now to Ian Pulver and try to get him done. Yeah, this seems like a perfect analysis to run December 15th when Joe comes back.
We'll see what happens in the next month and a half.
Diluted thoughts and put them into something sensical, Joe.
I will take care of the mailbag on December 15th, so I'll take care of that one.